Hey, Kage back again. And we'll read upon an article about diablo4. Titled Diablo4 Players Slam Latest Nerf Patch. Blizzard promises to address backlash. I personally did like Diablo 3, but I haven't played Diablo 4 personally myself. I just know from my little brother that he enjoyed the game, but there are certain aspects of the game which are not that great. For example, the mechanic with the snowflake or whatever is hovering above the player, and then it stops to put on a force field around it, and if you're not in it, it's insta-death. It just stops players in their tracks instead of actually having something engaging in the game that would be fun, like tough enemies or something. It's just now you're gonna stand there and wait until this thing finishes its charging and does the move, and then you can continue running again. That mechanic for me sounds like it's not so wise a decision. But let's get on with the article. Blizzard has promised to address feedback from players on Diablo 4's latest patch following backlash from the community. Diablo 4 got its long-awaited pre-season 1 patch 1.1 yesterday, and it didn't take long for players to criticize Blizzard for implementing heavy-handed nerfs. The patch makes sweeping nerfs across the board, with sorcerer players in particular bemused by the significant hit to the power of their class. The popular endgame activity Helltides has been made harder, and with an increase to the cost of opening mystery chests lower, the low cinder drop rate is a bug. Experience bonus for killing monsters at higher levels has been nerfed, and crucially, Blizzard significantly nerfed crit strike damage, vulnerable damage, cooldown reduction, as well as certain affixes, which reduces the effectiveness of many established builds. In general, we prefer build-specific changes to be bonuses instead of decreases, but we feel the changes are necessary for the overall health of the game, Blizzard explained. Diablo 4 is a game that is continually evolving through its seasons, thus the adjustments we make will evolve with them. Now all this reduction in damage and stuff just makes me sound like they're dragging out the game for no reason. One of the biggest aspects about Diablo that I like is the fact that you go and massacre groups of mobs. It gives you the feeling of being all powerful and stuff. But if you lower all the damages and all this stuff, and it's to the point where the game is gonna be slow and grindy, and to the point where it's just gonna just feel like a giant ass slug to even play it. And the experience bonus for killing high levels has been nerfed. It's like, why? I just don't get it. Why somebody would lower the experience for the higher challenging mobs. If they're challenging mobs, they should also have great rewards, but I guess it's not what Blizzard wanted. The upshot is the Diablo 4 community believes the changes have slowed down progression across all aspects of the game, and in turn reduced the power fantasy that comes from overpowering enemies. It is not like this game was lightning fast to begin with, but now it's a proper slog, wrote the Morals in a Reddit post that has over 19,000 upvotes. Diablo-related subreddits and social media platforms are packed with complaints from players about the patch, with some saying that they will down tools until Blizzard takes action. Seems like nobody likes this update. Let's see what this Twitter post says. Well, I suppose now X at the time of recording. Barely made it through a solo tier 52 nightmare. These patches are kinda rough, pretty much have to fully rebuild this. Self-healing is almost not there. I'm doing like 60% less damage than I normally would be. My vulnerable damage has almost been cut in half. my attack power. My attack power. Where is it? Is down 2000. My armor is down 1000. I was hitting 3 million crits an hour ago. Post patch, I'm seeing numbers in the literal hundreds. That's a really big cut in power. And this is the type of thing that would make me feel like it's not worth playing it no more, because before it felt like you're powerful, overpowering your enemies, and gives you the good feeling of being a boss in the game, but now it's kind of like, yeah, they do nothing now anymore, so what's the point? Some adjustments in the game is nice and stuff, but when you have a very well established base already about being powerful, and then you nerf that down to being, I don't know, a level 1 beginner, peasant level, then it's like, takes out your whole motivation of playing the game. It takes all the fun factor out of it. So I don't know why people would make these drastic nerfs. Now Menacing Bananas tweeted, "You gotta wonder what the Diablo4 devs were smoking when they made this patch they released today. Nerf crit plus vulnerable, but don't give any replacements of value. Nerf the worst class in the game, make everyone more squishy, destroy XP gains. What the hell, man." Yeah. Cut the EXP, makes it more grindy, then buff up the enemies, make it double more grindy, and then it's so ridiculous that they just want this game to be a huge ass grindfest where if you want to reach something of any goal that you might have set on you, like reaching a certain power status within the game, it would take you years to do so, because instead of rewarding people decently, they'd rather cut everything and say their game is long. But the fact that they have to grind for hundreds of hours to reach a certain point doesn't factor into that. I mean, the aspect of Diablo in itself is basically a grindy game. You grind for your gear, but there is a point where there is just too much grind and it's not worth anymore. So we'll also read upon this Danny Fallon post, and then I'll end the video. The Diablo4 nerf patch for season 1. There is nothing the season could add that could justify the amount of bullshit nerf, but they just dropped. They are slowing the game down even more. No thank you. I will wait a few seasons. I'll go play Last Epoch of Project D2 for my ARPG fix. Just like I said, at some point the grind is too much where people will just fade out. Now, I personally do not mind grinds in games. I do enjoy a certain amount of grinding in games, but when it's to the point where I have to consider that I could need to spend the next 4 months in order to progress somewhere, then it's too much. But oh well, this is all on the topic about Diablo 4. Players being dissatisfied with the patch. But alright, that's all for me. See you guys.